sorry about that. It's gonna be, like I said, it's so hard, but it's good to talk and tell the story. But I was gonna say, in the days that followed after Carl, right after he died, I mean, the planning a funeral, picking where he was gonna be buried, all those things. I mean, were just things that you would never in a million years imagine you'd be doing. But we did decide, our family, we wanted to have a big celebration of life, and I said, we'll have a funeral, beautiful mass in the church, but I don't want to do a visitation in a church. I don't want to be inside. I want to be on either a baseball field or a football field or in the gym somewhere, that Carl loved. And so we had friends that had a huge, like a wedding type tent that we were able to set up on a practice field up at the school where he went, and we had a big, I think, a beautiful celebration of life. And some of, several friends came back from California, and a lot of his friends here, and people he'd grown up with, and just some of the stories, and cousins and everybody, that shared the story. Oh God. But anyway, we made it through that, and the very next weekend was 4th of July, and I just remember thinking, oh my God, like the whole world is celebrating, and there's fireworks going off everywhere. And if it would have just been Bob and I, we probably would have just like crawled under the sheets and pulled the covers over our head. But we had Connor here with us, and we had to keep going for him. And he wanted to, go see fireworks. He wanted to, we had to kind of keep going. And we did. Thank God I had a good friend that had a great condo downtown, like that overlooked the city. And so we went down to their condo and just, watched on the balcony. And, but that night, I think Bob and I talked, and he's like, we've got to bring mental health awareness to a bigger audience. We've got to get it like in a stadium, the stadium level, where you could gather 20 or 30 or 50,000 people at a time, and like get the message out there that this is a real illness, and it's killing people. And you always think, oh my God, that would never happen. That would never happen to us. That only happens to those kind of people, those people, the ones that have problems, or the kids that have, maybe that are abused, or things like that. And it's not supposed to happen, to happy families, and families that try to stay intact, or, work hard and get through life and do life. And but it affects everybody. It can touch any family. There's no boundaries, no race or age or any discrimination when it comes to mental illness and suicide, unfortunately. So that was the only ray of hope that I saw in Bob, was when he said, we've got to bring this to a stadium level. And kind of from that moment on, we got with our daughter and our husband, and that was our pledge. It was like, we're going to make a difference. We're going to do something for Carl in his memory, and to help other people. Because there's got to be better access to care. There's got to be better options available. And we got to get the stigma thing, like, stop making fun of people and stop treating it like it's such a horrible thing, and talk about it, because it's just like any other illness. Your mind is part of your body, and your body can't function without your mind. And if your mind's not functioning, then it's okay to get help, and you need that. So that's first summer, actually, we kind of got involved a little bit with NAMI, which is the National Alliance for Mental Illness, and because we had some donations, so we wanted to, put money somewhere, and so we donated some money to NAMI, and they, that summer, were having something out at the Royals, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is it, you guys, this is it. Like, we're gonna bring it to the stadium level. We're gonna do this. We're gonna let everybody know about this. And so we rented another big white tent, and we found out though that the Royals really weren't sanctioning the mental health day. It was just more NAMI doing it, and so it was only gonna be in the parking lot. So, as I said, we rented a big tent, and we had over 200 people show up, and it was just, you know, kind of a fun day. We had hot dogs and beer and played, you know, bean toss or whatever you call those games, and you know, it was just something that like Carl would have enjoyed, and that's kind of been our goal there, to do things that would bring people out like him, young people, and even, you know, every age even, but get them out and bring awareness to mental illness. So that was kind of our first event, and really, I said from the beginning, it's like, I don't want to raise money. I just want to raise awareness. I don't want to get into all of that. You know, we've been involved in golf tournaments and all those things for many years with schools and church and everything. And then that September, before September, but Bob's brother came to him and said, he manages Canyon Farms golf course. He's the general manager, and he's like, we're having a golf tournament. He's like, you know, it's going to be the golf course is doing a tournament for Carl. And so that's kind of how our Carl's Cause began that summer, between the Royals and then the golf tournament. And we ended up raising a pretty good amount of money at the golf tournament. And so it was like, okay, well, if we're going to raise money now, we've got to really figure out what, you know, we have a responsibility, and how are we going to, what's going to make the most difference? What are we going to do? And I'm telling you that there have been so many God moments of things that have happened, and how fast things have gone in those few years. We found out that the University of Kansas Health System was opening a brand new behavioral health, really, hospital, a freestanding building over in the Strawberry Hill area. They were renovating it. And so we met with there were so many. The way we made the connection there was incredible, just through people we knew and random connections. But we were able to meet like the main head of the hospital, who was driving the force behind that. And from there, then he introduced us to all the people that were getting this new Strawberry Hill facility off the ground. They were just all incredible people and so passionate about what they were doing, and we knew we wanted to get involved with them and raise money towards what they were doing, because they could make the difference. You know, we weren't going to try to recreate the wheel of trying to come up with something that would help people. I mean, we're not clinicians. We aren't, you know, that's not our role. So we got pretty excited about partnering with the Strawberry Hill folks at University of Kansas Health System, and so we had the golf tournament, and then that spring, May of 2019, so we kind of gave ourselves a year. I mean, the golf tournament happened that first fall, kind of, you know, we went into that kicking and screaming. We really didn't, it was mostly Bob's brother that, in the golf course, that did everything on that. But then in May, we decided we were going to do a big event, and we called it Strikeout Stigma. It was in baseball season, and we had it up at the high school where the kids had gone at St. Thomas Aquinas, because there's a big open area, commons area, that we could, you know, have for next to nothing, and bring all the food and everything in for it. We had a live band, and we did an auction. And that night, our goal was to raise around $30,000 to help fund exercise equipment at Strawberry Hill. We raised about $87,000 that night. And then, you know, we started realizing what we could do, what we were able, maybe we could make a difference and do some things. So that's kind of how we got started with our foundation, Carl's Cause, and we funded the exercise equipment, and then the extra money kind of stayed in a pool till they could know what their biggest need was. And they came to us last year and said, you know, what we really want to do is hire a behavioral health navigator, a position that would really help people when they are released from the hospital, or to help them, you know, find the resources in the community they need, help them from coming maybe back to the hospital. And I just thought, oh my God, if we would have had something like that for Carl? I mean, that would have just been amazing. Somebody that we, like a contact, a person, somebody that could give you those resources. And so we said, yes, absolutely. We will commit to that. And it's a $300,000 commitment over 3 years to raise money to fund this position, fully fund it. So they've got to have so many years, you know, pledged, I guess. So we signed off on that last year, and we have now, just with our little family and friends and people, community helping us, we've donated $200,000 already. We've hit of the 300, and we just finished a big campaign here in May, literally just this week, and our goal was 33,000. Carl's number was 3, so we always try to have 3s in everything we do. And we surpassed that goal this month, and so we're going to be able to definitely, hopefully, hit the $250,000 mark, and then be at that goal here really soon. And then we'll see where we go from there. You know, we're not done. You know, this is something we want to continue to do. It's so important, and we're passionate about it. My biggest frustration now is that I'm still working my regular day job, and I'm so over it. I just want to work full-time for Carl's cause, and I want to, you know, I want to make a difference. And but right now I'm still, you know, health insurance is a thing, and Bob has his own business, so I'm carrying the health insurance at the moment. So we're kind of, he's inching closer to Social Security, which would help matters. So we'll see what happens, you know. If we could ever get a big grant to where we could fund a position, you know, a salary position, then that would be great. But right now, everything we make goes right into our pledge, you know, what we pledged. And that's what we want it to do. That's what we want to do. So I don't know. There's been a lot of cool little miracles along the way. A lot of grace. God's given us a lot of grace. And you know, every day. I mean, we're going to be coming up on 4 years this summer, and so it's impossible to believe. You know, just impossible to believe that I haven't seen him in 4 years. But I also know that I have to accept the reality, because it is. And, you know we'll see him again. We know that. And Carl's with us a lot every day. He said his number is 3, and so we look for 3s everywhere we go. But not only that, at 33 after the hour, it's kind of we look at that as our little wink from Carl. And I mean, it's almost like every time I look down, you know, at my computer or at my phone or something, it's you know, 2:33 or 8:33 or 6:33. And Bob and I are all day long, we text each other when it's, you know, and half the time we're texting each other at the same time, you know, because we both have looked at our watch and our phone, and there it is. It's 33 after the hour. It's just kind of like our little, you know, smile from Carl saying, I'm here with you guys. So we're, you know, healing little by little, day by day. It's a journey, you know. It'll be a journey that we will be on the rest of our lives, and it's kind of like carrying a suitcase, and some days it's so heavy that it can't hardly make it, you know, and other days the load is lighter, but it's still there, and we just kind of keep going, never get over it. You know, you got to get through, though, and you got to keep moving and going forward, because You know, we've got Connor that depends on us, and I mentioned that Megan had just found out she was expecting when Carl, right before Carl died, and she ended up having a little baby boy 7 months to the day that Carl died, and they didn't know if it was a boy or girl. They waited, and I mean, it was kind of a miracle moment too. And his name is Bobby Carl. Carl's his middle name, and he has just given us so much delight and just pure love. And now he has a little brother, Griff, that was born last March. So we're blessed, you know, to have those two little boys and have Megan and her husband and Connor still. But, you know, you have secondary losses. Like Megan realized her kids will probably never have cousins, you know, because it's not likely that Connor will marry. And, you know, she grew up with 20 cousins on each side of the family. I grew up with 50 cousins just on one side of the family, you know, and that extended family is important. But, you know, like I told her too, I said that your cousins and those kids, they're still all, you know, you got to just keep those bonds close. And, you know, we just have to kind of reframe things. It's not what we want or